you followed Narendra Modi a little bit on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
So, what was your idea? I mean, what preconceptions did you have about him going forward, and did it change as you watched him?
Okay, so if I was to declare any kind of like really heavy bias, it was that I was utterly convinced of the mediocrity of Rahul Gandhi. So I was not coming into this, I wasn't coming into the election with a completely free mind. I wasn't like, here are two candidates. I knew that one party, one political establishment probably had to go. And let me go further to say that I actually didn't believe that this establishment was capable of real talent. I felt that we'd seen, if we begin with Nehru to Mrs. Gandhi to Rajiv Gandhi to Rahul Gandhi, I could see an arc, and it was going in a bad direction. And when I moved around in Delhi, I didn't feel that this was really the source of Indian vitality. That's the background. When I went to see Modi, I have to say in those first rallies, and I still have those feelings, I had reservations for the simple reason that his ability to produce a feeling of shame and then to turn that into a kind of anger at this great country that had been betrayed. And there was class warfare, there was a certain kind of veiled like majoritarianism. There was something about it. There was a kind of latent hooliganism that was impossible to ignore. At the same time, he could be mesmerizing. He could be funny. Firstly, this is not a country where you have, there are very few funny politicians that you can...
And politicians who try to make jokes end up usually losing their jobs.
So he could make you laugh, and I thought his instincts, his ability to understand things about the market, about sort of center-right politics, and to convey them very simply to people was very compelling. And he could, I give you an example. At one point he said, प्रधानमंत्री वॉशिंगटन डीसी गए हैं, ओबामा के सामने गिड़गिड़ा के कह रहे हैं हम गरीब देश हैं, हमें पैसा दो. मैं पूछता हूँ, ये असली गरीबी है, ये हमारे मोहल्लों और शहरों की गरीबी है, या ये भी वो स्टेट ऑफ माइंड गरीबी है? शहजादा कहता है गरीबी एक मानसिक अवस्था है, and that
you do this very well.
Thank you. No, so it was very compelling. And as much as you could have reservations about politicians, and you must think in some ways of politicians like coming to the end of their use after 10 years, the mandate was very hopeful. And when you traveled around in places like, I was mainly in Banaras and in the environs, people would come from Delhi and they say, मंदिर के बारे में बताओ. And they'd say, आप क्यों हमें मंदिर के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं? हम आपको हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था के बारे में बात करना चाहते हैं, हम विकास के बारे में बात करना चाहते हैं, आप मंदिर के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं. So there was a really strong sense, I felt, in the mandate, that the mandate was very much for that change of direction that the Prime Minister had taken.